Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, like defender of the fatherland, except no substitutes. Off here to a 1v1 own. You guess it is Langraskaya. In the north it is Tiramisu here, fighting for America, freedom, democracy, here with the 3rd Armored Division, tasked with clearing out the Krauts under the command of L2p here. Forming up with the 2nd Panzer Division here with Jaeger Infantry, Storm and Spearhead versus Airborne, Mechanized and Tactical Support. Mostly infantry, but the Panzer there as well for L2p. Gun the MD42 versus Rapstart here for Tiramisu. Also, a very big thanks to Ignacio. I'm not entirely sure which of these pronunciations are correct, and I'm not entirely sure 100% where he's from, but either way, big thanks to you for your donation and supporting the Propagandacast with your hard-earned money. Big thanks. And of course, big thanks to my paid supporters who simply do that thing on a monthly basis. Other people can join these people's heroic and illustrious, efforts by pledging on Patreon themselves. You can donate via PayPal. Links in the description, video description. Also, comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button, all that stuff there. So we're off to the races here, heading eastwards, Delhi for freedom and democracy. Riesen's rival squads in the west. Pioneer moving up there, laying down sandbags, securing points as well. Interesting enough, he's first resting for this point rather than say going for this point. Obviously, that is just different priorities in capping orders. But personally, I would probably value the fuel point a bit higher than this point. But I honestly understand why he wants this to an extent. Like, it secures this, is all screens. And also, it gives him a warning, particularly if the opponent rushes for this building. So that's probably why he's doing it. MD4 setting up there, 3rd Raft going there for Tiramisu. This building is actually quite crucial. Like, if you get some opponents like in that you can't deal with, it can actually become quite a thorn in your side. Some players, in fact, because they're also moving to like rush off to wire it off there as well. So that's like an added element there. And highlights a bit the pain of particularly being a Velma player in the southern half of Langraskaya, since this building can easily just determine a lot of things here. MD4 against the advanced Raft squad here. Not the best position, obviously, in this case. They are able to catch the unit there, slightly outcover to press it with the MD42, tearing through them rapidly. Raft squad on the flank here, though, but still, if you can deal with this squad first, you should be able to deal with the other Raft squad, leaving Tiramisu there. Definitely a bit short-staffed on the front lines. 3rd Gunny squad there for the L2p. Raft squad there's digging in there. I think he should have actually rushed up the Grenadiers while he could have and just deal extra damage up close rather than stay at distance here to deal with that as well. I feel like he should have prioritized that, but for now, it's too late here for L2p, and he's obviously now making the right decision to retreat. But sometimes the best thing you can do is actually just rush in a unit that already suppressed units to finish them off faster. This is particularly why Pioneer is actually a nice thing to have your MD42s, because they're quite good to like move in to deal with a suppressed unit, I find personally. So little side note there in terms of tactics. Pioneers from the north here with the MP40s. Note the actual Pioneers were typically also equipped with rifles. They would probably have a higher propensity of submachines themselves, but in most parts they're basically equipped like a Grenadier squad or Panzer Grenadier squad with a part of Panzer Division. Little fun note there. Ralph got busy there, retreating here. We got Lieutenant on there for Tiramisu. Pioneer was the rifle squad. Closing in there. That's not to say they couldn't have been like specialty Pioneer detachment formed from time to time, more heavily equipped with submachine guns. The Germans, instead of attempting to do that, for example, there's the Cavalry Brigade Seitlitz that was formed there, for example, made out of reconnaissance units, but mounted on horses and bicycles, and they equipped heavily with the submachine guns as much as possible. So, they did have heavy submachine gun formations, but they were more, ad hoc and from problem to problem rather than something more regular paper organization. Still pressuring the car front here with MD40 Grenadiers is a very good move there. They of course need to keep their flank here secure, otherwise the Raft would do some nasty damage. You could lay down some S-mines for example here while he's pushing up here. That could be a fairly good idea for L2p, but by now it's already too late there. Lieutenant's also flanking in here. I'm guessing Tiramisu might be planning here the Stuart. Yup, mechanized command post there, problem to Stuart here. L2p is taking up there, has in fact taken up a Panther squad here would be a good addition. You could also go for Jaeger Infantry or Storm for the Jaeger Command Squad, of course. Many players like that one. Oh, right into the MD42. That set distance is sufficient for the Rav squad to quickly slip past the MD42 anyways. Still close call there for Tiramisu. Very close call. Quick Rav nade off there, but still machine gun is a pretty tight spot if learn to play the Lieutenant on the retreat path as well. Definitely a bit awkward. Needs to get those Pioneers moving. You can now go for the Storm or Jaeger Infantry for Jaeger Command Squad, or bars. I would, strongly consider, you know, a Panther company squad. There'll be M20 now. Like to make a nice company with the 2-2 is also a pretty good idea. We'll still see, of course, what Learn to Play does. Still, got an appetite for Learn to Play, despite all these slight setbacks here. Tiramisu is obviously not out of the fight yet either. Like to make a nice company. Of course, it is interesting, it goes for the M20 when the Wehrmacht can typically respond to like a 2-2. In fact, timing-wise, by the time you have the M20 out, the 2-2 can soon be there, and the 2-2 does fairly well counter the M20. Though, of course, if he gets a mine down, takes out the 2-2 with that, he's obviously ahead. So there's some consideration there, but it's typically much more tricky with this particular matching to go for the M20 like that, unless you're like really far ahead already. So I would have figured he'd gone for the Stuart Light Tank first, but you know, we'll see. I'll wait M20 out here, adding the armoured skirts there. No commander yet before I Learn to Play or for Tiramisu. Pioneers catching the USF, pushing them back. Catches all of Tiramisu, almost there. Infantry with MD42, forcing quick retreat here. That is a really good engagement here for Learn to Play. I mean, that is pretty much like all 4 squads. This entire force has been sent packing here. He's sending up his rounds. Ooh, that's definitely very nice there. Unless, of course, you're the crew in question, in which case it's not very nice. Panther fast off here. Armoured car rolling ahead here for Learn to Play. Ambulance all over for Tiramisu. A pretty rough start here for the American player at the moment. No commander. At this point, I could honestly see him just go for tactical support just to get some light machine guns out, so he can that way increase his firepower here versus Learn to Play. As for Learn to Play, obviously getting some sort of upgrades out now for the Gundis would be an excellent idea. Or mines. Mines are always a good idea too, honestly. Medics on the way there for Learn to Play as well. I mean, he could consider, like, again, Storm or Jägermann for the ambush camouflage versus MD42. Pushing on the west side, very good. Ground leads to the victory point. Honestly, I probably feel like I should push him straight for the fuel points. In short, even like if Tiramisu gets back to the victory point fast, he won't be getting access to the fuel fast. Pack 40 there, obviously concerned about the possibility of a Stuart Light Tank here from Tiramisu. Makes a lot of sense. But we're still not seeing any light machine guns here on the Grenadiers. Before this halfway done. Got a bazooka there on the lieutenant. And straight to the MD42. He is close to the Stuart Light Tank, though he has to fuel, but the manpower is where things are definitely a bit tighter at the moment. But there we go, good flank, the MD42 pushing it back here. And Trent rolling out here as well. Catching the Gundis with the 50 caliber mounted on top of the M20, 3 kills close veterans 1. Picks up the armored car in the east, but again doesn't quite go hard for the fuel point. Again, I feel like tactically that is a slight, you know, thing he could have done better there. Wouldn't call it a mistake, but it's something he could have done better, I think, personally. Light machine to the way there. And again, definitely feel like he could also have some of these upgrades going up much sooner here versus Tiramisu here. But he can't go for the Stuart Light Tank now. Of course, he may also decide that's not worth it. But I think right now with the situation is, he's probably better like trying to apply more pressure now with one of the advantages he does have as the Americans, which is definitely light vehicles. So that would try and push it. But instead, suffers a great loss there. He's going for weapon racks though. Not a bad idea either though. BARs, bazookas and all that. But yeah, he's going for 50 cal. I still feel like a Stuart Light Tank would be better right now, but that's just me.
A capture point is under attack.
His info, of course, took a nasty hit from that raft grenade there. Pushing the west side with the MD42 there, but crucially to note, again, no commander yet for either player. They're sort of both holding back there. Panzer Gunner squad there for Learn to Play. Thumbs up. Always good with some Panzer Gunner dealer in my book. Got the eastern point here, going for the standout victory point. Great hit on the M20, but there you go. Anti-tank rifle should allow the M20 to survive here. That's going to be a fairly close call there for Tiramisu. Got 500 to 334, moving up the eastern side of the lieutenant and the rear echelons. Fixing that up. Slight pressure on the right flank of Learn to Play's front line. I further on his base. I mean, he could slowly consider taking up here versus Tiramisu already. Pan's going to be pushing forward here. Being good work with a Sturmgewehr 44. Right, Lieutenant there. North here, we got the info to the rifle squad. Fifth car they're trying to do with the advancing Panzergrenadier could pop up a bomb grenade here soon. There we go, the Gebalde Ladung. Got some prep before they pop it off there. Back here, nothing further happening there for Tiramisu as of yet. Looks like he's not going to go for the Steward. Still feel like part of me, at least part of me feels like just adding more light vehicles now would be the more optimal choice for Tiramisu, but on the other hand, arguably taking it faster could also like maybe an option. The problem is he's just behind there, so it's going to be a lot more question we can get ahead here. I've learned to play in this regard, but the sufficiently aggressive tactic to maybe fuse prices is not impossible. About to lose the rifle score there. Oh dear, that's a wipe there. That's definitely painful for Tiramisu. Great kill for learn to play. Definitely, I think it's going to force like Tiramisu to strong consider commanding, preferably one with like some elite troops like airborne here with the paratroops could I think help make up for that loss significantly, in particular with the Thompsons. Though again, I know most players prefer the light machine guns, but honestly, like paratroops with the Thompson are great, and particularly use tactical advantage. But even a cavalry rifleman could also a lot here for Tiramisu. That said, learn to play here. Definitely made a few mistakes, then loses the armored car to volley of anti-tank rifle grenades. Good kill there for Tiramisu. In fact, he's made great progress now versus learn to play, who has yet to tag up. He is taking up, in fact, now, but definitely got that going a bit sooner. So great push here by Tiramisu in the end, and we got the captain. So clearly not expecting to like rush out for armor anytime soon, but also in this case the captain also of course serves as a replacement for his lost rifle squad. So one of those advantages of American tech, you basically get a free, fairly, you know, above the average infantry unit along with it. Pan's going to be pushing forward here. 3 kills, close veteran 2-1. Pushing back to the echelons. Tech almost done there. No sign of commanding yet. We're slowly approaching the 20-minute mark, which I always find is like, you know, the mark they really like want to choose a commander, or you want to like reconsider how you choose commanders in the first place. Personally, I know it sounds a bit harsh, but typically after like around the 20-minute mark, you just lost like all elements of surprise, but also like just so many benefits from like typically most commanders. At which point, I typically find you can improve your game by just being better at using commanders at that stage. Captaining up the eastern side and the BAR, Major on the way there, so both players are roughly taking it at the same spot. So in this case, he went for the captain, simply A, to get the infantry, but also get access to the anti-tank guns as an added, you know, anti-tank asset, which honestly makes a ton of sense, obviously. Public smoke here, causing a bit of confusion and disruption. Good hit in the pit. We could actually wipe the Pack 40 here, that'd be a huge problem for learn to play. Dudes have the info turning around here, but it's already popped the antenna up his round, so yeah, he got the Pack 40 here. Needs to push away the MD4 and get his hands on it, but honestly, as things are looking at right now, it's not impossible. Pioneer swap does well for learn to play. That is definitely double worrisome for him. But there you go, catches all the units with MD42. They're suppressing and pinning them down here. In fact, there we go. Eventually, 2 MD42s are really good at pinning down units, by the way. Close call here for Tiramisu, but probably should have up the 5th cal here and then just suppress it. The MD42 pushing it with the infantry, also spread them a bit better. Got Western fuel point there, so despite losing this and maybe not getting the MD42, he's definitely making great progress elsewhere, still delivering great damage. Major out there, fresh pioneers for learn to play, and to take there for Tiramisu as well. Panzergrenadier squad sitting out there with the Sturmgewehr 44. Inspiration pushing them back. Major, well, getting majorly shot down. Panzer pursued with the M20. Got the anti-tank ready there for Tiramisu. So Palmer Cup here for learn to play. Like going to go for the Panther 4 here, which does make sense. Brown was on point with the Grenadiers. And towards the advancing M20. Good hit on Pack 40, then the M20 puts you straight through the armour. My god, this armoured car's not very armoured. That's not what armoured car means. I thought it meant it was like a tank with wheels. Nope. Oh. Panda 4 there for learn to play. And we do get Spearhead onto this stage. Not too surprising that he was just delayed on. Let me see what makes use of it. Meanwhile, Tiramisu continues to be hesitant here. But honestly, it's starting to feel like it's going to be... I mean, it could be any of them. Ooh, another weapon Tiramisu. Looks like it was... Rifle Squad there again who bit the dust in service of freedom and democracy. I mean, he could go for this for the P-47s. He'd go for this for the mechanized. That said, if he'd gone for airborne, he wouldn't need to really go on for the captain. He can call him imperative and then enter tank gun. So maybe it's more mechanized or tactical support with the choices between them. He could still go for airborne just for the P-47s. West side of Japan is about to get wiped out for learn to play again. Then he's being pressed here, and there we go. Panther already here for learn to play and the German army. Sherman for Tiramisu. You could also just go for like mechanized calling the 7.6mm Sherman. Definitely should add a pin-up machine to the Panther 4, by the way. Does add a notable amount of anti-infantry firepower to the Panther 4. They're losing 2 members as a high close shell goes amongst them. Have we seen any mines here from Tiramisu? I mean, he's flooding a lot of munitions, but we're not really seeing anything to utilize it again. Not, say, tactical support with like machine guns, just nothing. Bit of a shame there. Anyway, Sherman on the way there. Almost done here for Tiramisu, freedom and democracy. Got it from the entertainer there. Puncture check for the Panther 4. Panther with his rifle squad.
Capture point is being overrun.
Bomb grenade off there against rifle squad. Got the M20. Entertainer then hit on the Panther 4. Puncture check for the side armor. Nasty hit there. Punish for the rifle squad. Close to destroying that. Rifle squad actually losing out to Pioneer due to the low health the rifle squad's got left here as the Pioneer. Back here, trip reinforcing healing. Need to fix up that Panzerkampfwagen. And schnell.
We're losing a capture point.
Now then, Pack 40 here. So looks like learn to play is going to transfer for the Target Tank versus Tiramisu. Probably because he's feeling like, you know, I'm ahead. But the problem is, again, when you go for the target tank, ahead can quickly become, like, you know, equal or even behind the opponent because you need to, like, set aside so many resources for quite some time to really make it work. So there's typically a danger involved with the target tank, I find. And typically, it's also not quite able to make that, you know, risk back. But we shall see. I mean, still in command of the Tiramisu. We're getting very close to the 20-minute mark, though, and Tiramisu remains present there. We've got the Sherman ready, the M43. Panzer Grenade pushing forward here, but straight into the 50 cal. They are stopped in their tracks and sent back.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
He could consider mortar or mortar half-tick, and similarly like Tiramisu could benefit from a mortar or a Scott. He could also like just go for grenades. He's got plenty of munitions, but also get smoke from the grenade upgrade as well, which will have to push forward as well here. So like plenty of options for Tiramisu, plenty of tools to utilize. There's so far none of that, and again, crucially, no weapon racks. Don't feel like there's a few things here where Tiramisu would benefit from a bit more. Almost got the grenade squad wiped here, but the MD42 now ace level and rifle grenade here saves the day, sending these Americans running. 50 cal brief considered there by Tiramisu. Instead, it's going to be the Scott for some nice self-propelled artillery and close quarters infantry support. Panther 4 is half a 2 veterans 1. Sneak up with the grenadiers into Lieutenant in the east. Panzer Grenadier pushing forward to close better to Lieutenant in a bit of trouble. That's one thing I always would like to critique learn to play for is just he's not really doing much at the fuel point or flanking around Tiramisu. Like I feel like he'd been more active on the right flank here, for example, you're threatening to attack from there, plus threaten the fuel. I feel like learn to play would be in a much stronger position than he is right now. And so obviously not in a bad position, but I definitely feel like he's a bit too relaxed here against Tiramisu. He's taking it a bit too easy. North East pushing back the Major. Got the Scott out here for Tiramisu, and obviously Tiramisu could also be pressuring more on the flank here, even there. So definitely I think some room for both players to improve a bit on their flank work and their tactical awareness. Got in the 50 cal there. Sherman there around the grenades with a well-placed high closure shell. And taking treatment to the Panther 4. Ralph Corp being suppressed. Scott moving ahead here for Tiramisu. Got it maintaining the Panzer IV there. Pani's bombarded. Going straight for the MD-42. That's definitely a pretty good target there actually, and doing some nasty damage there in particular. Like, even like the machine doesn't get destroyed, just removing that ace level of the machine gun is pretty powerful, honestly. Handful shoots, misses the Scott. Close call there though. No take yet, but again, he is clearly stalling for the big tank. As for Tiramisu, we have hit the 20-minute mark, and he still hasn't chosen a commander, so that's definitely a bit concerning. Tier 4 there for Learn to Play now. Like, it could be mechanized for, like, Shermans with some systems of guns, maybe with some combined arms. It could be this for, like, machine guns, strafing runs, Calibes. It could also be this for, like, just, you know, rocket strikes. Maybe some paratroopers with bigger guns. But so far, Tiramisu just hasn't made the choice yet. They can't seemingly make up the mind, or they're not in a rush. It's hard to say there. Got it from the between the Panther and the Sherman there. Ooh, nice hit from the Pack 40. Panther fast there. Smoke's being deployed towards the south here. Not bad, but needs to get that Sherman to safety here. Bringing in the anti-tank and more infantry rounding here for Tiramisu, but there, guards been caught up in approaching the Panther it is. Could actually move in the Panther to help deal with this, clear that faster, but oh well. Scott firing at them. Close call. Fragmentation bomb released on the 50 cal. He wants it dead. Oh dear. 50 cal crew not just dead, but the gun and the tank traps, the hunting gun, just utterly annihilated. My god, yeah, it's terrible. Those poor men. That poor tank trap. I spent so much time welding it. You're an idiot. Ralph Crop moving forward to see for Tiramisu. MD-42 they're wiped out. Finally got that wiped. Looks like he can actually make a run with it as well. Adding a bit of extra insult to injury here for Learn to Play. He does Ralph Grenade it, but they kind of scattered out. This one Ralph Grenade necessarily won't be able to stop it. Could deploy smoke here, possibly from the Scott to cut the treaty, or wipe the Grenadier. That works too. I mean, you know, key point areas, no one can see it and shoot it, so either you deploy smoke so they can't see it, or you kill the gunners so they can't see it because they're dead. Fixing up the Panzer IV. Closing on that Tiger tank. As for Tiramisu, again, there is a... definitely a bit of lack of clarity as to what is going on, at least from my perspective. We got 440 to 243. He's also starting to run an infantry, I think, a bit more here, though. Admittedly, Learn to Play has also suffered infantry losses, hasn't replaced him because, again, he's so focused on the Tiger. So that, of course, is also something that works out there for Tiramisu a bit. At least the Pentagon are still alive. But again, feel like, you know, the right side of the map that's not seeing enough playing. Similarly, the west side could also be seeing a bit more engagement here from both players, particularly the Wehrmacht player. Panzer engaged with the Sherman again, half a unit gone. But he's running a lot of munitions. More gun used for Learn to Play, thumbs up. Definitely needs more infantry, though pardon would like to see Panzer gun. We've got Tiramisu with the M36 Jackson tank destroyer. Probably in part because he's got a really good idea as to what Learn to Play is playing at, and that's a Tiger tank. Even though German propaganda has tried to convince him it's a really, really big ice cream truck. Yeah, it's totally a brand new ice cream truck with the 88mm ice cream cannon. Haha, it totally does not fire high explosive shells. It's ice cream. Jackson the way there for. Tiramisu almost done, still no commander. Could of course use the captain to revise it out. Fresh gun is got ready. Jackson ready. Scott firing away there. MD-42 dealing with the advancing Germans. Hey, didn't that machine gun give a use to be ours? Yeah, but the Americans nicked it. Oh, at least it wasn't the British. They were just stuffed in a museum. 50 cal almost on there for Tiramisu. Very close to that Tiger tank. Tiramisu, there's still no commander, still a lot of men. Okay, there we go. Finally, at the 25-minute mark, we do get tactical support team, meaning you can go for light machines as troops, which wouldn't be a bad idea. Got this recon runs, strafing runs, Germans runs, and of course the half track. Pan's been caught in with the Jackson, the infantry, and crucially the Sherman. Pack 4's getting ready here. And of course, constantly giving a good idea what his opponent's up to. Can also focus on Lam to call in the strafing run of these two packs, which bunched up. Could be fairly well cleared out there with a good, well-angled attack. And of course, we'll just bombard it with the Scott there, which works just as well. Target tank, though, has arrived here. Fort learned to play in the German army. 2nd Panzer Division is able to receive support from the nearby 502nd Schwere Panzerabteilung. "17 kills, 32 on the Scott here. We got the gunners at the eastern side. No sign of air reconnaissance here from known to plane return or much else. You could also consider like a mortar to support his troops. Now, smoke screens, of course, will be quite valuable in supporting attack against Tiramisu. Jackson taking us, almost got the tank in there with the Panther 4. Damn, its engine suffered. Packed from behind the Jackson there. Pushing down to half of anti-tank and crew completely explodes except for poor Lewis, who sadly lost his sense of direction, ran into the German guns, got killed. Target tank with MG42 getting a nice hit in there. Got 3 kills on it so far. 4 kills. Troop reinforcing healing here for Tiramisu. Targeting slowly advancing. Could do with a pin-up machine gun there. Panzer team with the captain. Ace level there. Definitely giving them a really strong boost there. Overall lethality there. Ace Panzerese are just a very, very solid infantry. The course trick is getting them there. Almost got the captain there. Close but not quite. Need to treat the Panzer squad there. Sherman almost taken out with the packs. But again, good use of smoke. Gets the Sherman out safely. Sneak with the gunners on the eastern side. Grabbing the eastern victory point there. We got 384 to 136. Scott's getting ready to bombard here again. Got the centre victory point. Kind of Rascal chance of the Gundis there. German being fixed up there. Close register on the Panzer 4. Fresh bit of air comms here for Tiramisu. Now, of course, to quickly see where the German attack's going to land. Not that, in theory, he would really need air recons for that, because learn to play so far has not proven himself to be, you know, a particularly imaginative attacker. He's just like attacking head on into like every gun again. That ain't providing like a smoke screen there, which is definitely not, I would call, tactical advice for learn to play. Did get a wipe nonetheless, obviously not bad here for learn to play, but you know, feel like this attack could have gone a bit better. Worth noting, Tiramisu is not upgrading his men with the light machine guns. Definitely feel like that's a bit of improvement there for Tiramisu. Not going for Calliope here, though I definitely think he should go for some more infantry and crucially upgrade what he's got with more guns. Meanwhile, Tiramisu bringing another Jackson tank ready to deal with the Tiger tank. That honestly makes sense. He's advancing up here, being bombarded by the Scott. Panzers are good to go. Handling multi with the light machine guns. Pack shoots whiffs. Looks like we're seeing an armoured flank here by Tiramisu with the Sherman and the Jackson. They're moving up here. Could hit the isolated Panther 4. That would be pretty potent, actually. So able to combine with an infantry attack from the front to, like, shall we say, tie down. Learn to play's efforts, attentions here. That could be potentially very powerful. 22 kills in that Scott. You can see the Scottish is really good. Halfway to the east level. Meanwhile, we haven't seen again the mortar attack on any kind of artillery for learn to play. There you go. He's also using the air cons in this regard. He can actually spot the isolate the Panther 4 and actually hunt it down, which does make it strange that learn to play willing to like isolate it like that, because he should be aware that his opponent's going to know it. So it's not like he can set up a trap there. Targeting straight for the 50 cal there. Nasty. Exposing the side rear armor to the Jackson feels very issue. Of course, there is currently coming to no actual side armor, but in Company's fleet there will be side armor, so you might as well start training not to expose your side armor either. Although, on the Tiger tank, they actually had like fairly thick side armor of like, I think 80mm roughly the frontal armor of the Panther 4, whereas most tanks typically had closer to like 30mm of side armor, if not thinner. Counter tank to the Grenadiers there. Tiger tank moving up here. Shots fired. Stug almost done here for Learn to Play. That's definitely a good addition here, I think. Another straight run against the Pack 40. I think that's a really good idea there. Angler's not bad either. In this case, there's just one tiny issue. That's the building. And there's, of course, the building was the target all along. Shoveling up there. Close of T2. Got it from the Pack 40s there, but again, flanks are just seeing no real action here. Fragmentation bomb about to unleash there by the 50 cal. Nice angling then. Tiramisu once more does the direct, then once more another 50 cal crew is utterly annihilated, eviscerated. Stu taking a nice hit there. But Learn to Play is definitely, I think, to some degree also players playing too defensively, too passively versus Tiramisu, which is great for Tiramisu, of course. Even he's like technically got a smaller force to Learn to Play. The way that Learn to Play in some guards just playing does mean he can actually leverage it particularly well anyway. So Tiramisu is just being more aggressive, meaning he can use his forces more effectively. So, I mean, he's got like a lot less infantry, but because again the way Learn to Play uses infantry is fairly efficient at this point, doesn't really matter. Also crucially very defensive. Scott is very close to the ace level here. I mean, because he's just feeding the infantry like effectively like a meat grinder without making significant gains. Fresh air recons here from Tiramisu. Got the ace Panther coming up the eastern side here. Shoving the move here though. Fixing the tag tank, Panther 4 and Stu Goldston repairs. Does have more Pioneer to assist with it, popping in the Panther into the building, I think, to sort of get bang on the last spot that way. Ooh, bun grenade. I'll split up his own man with that one though. 33 was 2016. Got a strafing around unleashed here by Tiramisu. Oh, snap! He wiped one of the Pioneer squads, also got the other one. That's actually pretty clever. Like, there was a lot of targets at which point Learn to Play then has to guess which of the targets he's going to like hit with the air support. Nice. And as we call to the German players, in which case it's Scheiße, diese verdammte Amerikaner. But that's another story. Packs moving in there, Scott up in the Grenadiers. Thunder Reef's been flooded here by Tiramisu. Still no light machine guns being upgraded. Which is like really surprising because most players will be more than happy to equip them with the light machine guns. Like, it's really good, so a bit surprised Tiramisu isn't doing it at all. Something out and getting the Grenadiers. He's all just flooding resources, going for another Jackson. Clearly Tiramisu is a bit of an action Jackson guy. Target engaging, got 14 kills, close 32. That's going to require a lot of Stugs from Learn to Play to hit back at, I think. Again, the way he's playing, I mean, it's just going to present perfect targets to the Jackson because, again, he's very passive. I mean, the Jackson just safely fired max range against Learn to Play. The Panthers again, but again, on their own at this point, no support, no smoke screens, nothing. Definitely not text advisable. Jackson's on the move here. Again, undercover the air recons, you can use an effect and aggressive. There you go. Almost got the target tank here. We got eventually to one of the Jackson tanks. So it's Pack 40 on me up. No, it's the Stug. Packs, though, were not rated up here as well either. Stug charging ahead. He needs to be careful from the Sherman there. Needs more Pioneers, by the way. Like, one Pioneer squad to fix both the Tiger, the Stug, and the Pantherful is utterly insufficient. But there we go. Third Jackson tanks are ready for Tiramisu here. think this could get a bit violent here for Learn to Play.
Overrunning one of our capture points.
But I will say this, it's pretty rare to see any American player go for triple Jacksons. That's not see. Double Jackson's rare, just 3 is kind of rare.
Armor here.
Picks up the Jackson there.
300 points remaining.
Almost got the rest of his force repaired there. I guess he's just waiting for all the Jacksons to get ready before diving in here. There you go. Reconnaissance, he's lining up. He's trying to figure out where the best to strike here. Got the Jacksons ready. The Sherman, the Scott is almost ready here.
Forces are securing our territory.
He's got more pioneers into repair. Should upgrade the minesweeper kits by to increase the repair speed. Surprised he isn't doing that. There we go. Strafing against the pioneers. This time, though, it's a bit too obvious here and Learn to Play split up. But even then, it does create one important thing that it creates disruption. Like, he's forced to deal with this. So this gives the Jackson more time to move and finish things off here. There we go. Tiger Tank. 1 shot bounces out of 3. Then he just falls back here. Like, honestly, I'm surprised he didn't try to attack from here and just flank up behind through the base, honestly. And does highlight both players do suffer a bit too much from tunnel vision, I think. Like, they're way too focused on center, like the sides of the map has just been practically ignored.
Assault gun standing by.
Bound grenade off. Okay, looks like Tiramisu is finally remembering there's something called the right side of the map. In fact, he's realizing something called a map. Sir, I found this strange artifact. What's it called, Corporal? It's called a map. A map! Yes, and according to this map, there's something else besides a narrow line between our base and the enemy base. My God. Yes, but wait, there's more. Oh, no. It's not that bad, sir. Trust me. I can't handle it. Just straight down. And there you go, diving against the German siege. Duke loses the main gun immediately. Tiger Tank's almost fixed up here, but he's lost the Panther 4. Made sure the Jack's got the Pack 40 firing in there. Got 237, 214, lost 2 Jacksons there. Yikes. Northeast Sherman forwards. Don't think that was a perfect trade-off here, honestly, for Tiramisu. I mean, 2 Jacksons for Sherman and a Panther 4 and a Stuke is not quite good economics. We can get rid of the Tiger as well, though. I mean, you know, that would look better. And I think it's going to make the Timmy got smoke going in, I think, to obfuscate line of things here and make it harder for Learn to Play to tell what Tiramisu is planning. And it does seem to work out here. It's also like messing with the Pack 40s, just everything. Infantry close being wiped out. Almost got the Tiger Tank. He just needs one more hit. Can he get it? Any guards get it? With that, Learn to Play has no armor left. On the other hand, Tiramisu's got next to no infantry left. I mean, he's basically just left with only armor, whereas Learn to Play's left with only infantry almost. You could just call him more armor now, honestly, and then the Sherman could defeat him alongside the Scott, honestly, with another Jackson there for Tiramisu. I think he might actually drop that. There we go. GG, game over. Loss here for Learn to Play. A victory for Tiramisu. Again, both players, you know, could have benefited more from like utilizing, you know, the sides of the map here. And certainly Learn to Play again benefit from more armor, you know, flanking more, mines, and certainly Tiramisu could also use more of the commander faster. So there you go. But still, had some nice moments there. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends and family. But don't tell enemies. This is Imperial Link. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.